Have all the members voted? Have all the members voted? Is your vote properly recorded? If so, the machine will be locked, and the clerk will take a tally. And the clerk will announce the tally.
House Bill 6519 is amended by House A. Total number voting 138. Necessary for passage 70. Those voting yea 138. Those voting nays are absent. Not voting 13.
The bill as amended is passed.
Okay. So, Bobby, who's first? Because they're not up. Any announcements or introductions? Announcements or introductions? Representative Wallace. Thanks. I got it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For purpose of an announcement.
Proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Planning and Development Committee will meet immediately following session today in room 2B in the Legislative Office Building to act on matters referred from the floor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Representative Ryan.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of announcement.
Coming right up. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to announce that the Labor and Public Employees Committee will have a meeting to act on 3 bills referred to it tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in room 1D. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Representative Delgado.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For purposes of announcement.
You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To my colleagues in the House, just wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow will be the 18th annual John Blair Memorial Capital Basketball Tournament, which is a wonderful time every year. And it also would let everybody know that the proceeds from this event benefit Veterans Who Care here in Connecticut. It's an organization that helps veterans throughout the state of Connecticut. It's my understanding, as a matter of fact, that our speaker will be, it's been rumored, will be throwing out the first ball for the tip-off as the tournament begins. That will be at 5 o'clock at St. Joseph College, and there will be a celebration beginning at 6 at the Officers Club, and I hope members will be able to attend, those who aren't playing, and have a great time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative, and hopefully I'm going to get some Bengay on the arm. Hopefully I can even throw a ball up in the air. We'll see. It's been a long time. Representative Nafis.
I rise for a point of personal privilege, Mr. Speaker.
You may proceed, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Come on in, guys. First of all, I would like to say that Newington does have champions, in spite of what our good representative from New London mentioned earlier today about our basketball team. 3 years ago today, Newington Knights, a team of dedicated junior Pee Wee football players under the direction of Coach Brian Perillo and his great team of coaches, worked hard and they made it all the way to the Pop Warner National Championship Games in Florida, which was an incredible achievement, not only for our community, but also for the state of Connecticut. Unfortunately, they lost in the final game to North Carolina, but we were certainly very, very proud of their achievement that year. Then, in 2003, 2 squads from Newington continued to work hard. They had the perseverance to continue to move forward, and I think they saw, they'd been to Florida once, they wanted to get back there again, and I know they had the hearts of champions. So once again, they did that. They worked their way through and they made it to Florida. Once again, they didn't quite make it to the top, but both teams are, again, are champions in our eyes. And then this year, in 2004, I'm so pleased to announce that our teams from Newington just continued to work and work. They both had 14-0 seasons. The Pee Wees scored 463 points and gave up an amazing 0 points the entire season, which is really quite a feat. They it really was. It's an amazing thing. Both teams went on to become Central Connecticut Pop Warner champions, Connecticut State champions, Western New England Regional champions, New England Regional champions, and finally, in December 2004, For the first time in Newington's history and in the state of Connecticut's history, Newington Knight Pee-wees under the direction of Coach Brian Perillo and Newington Knights Junior Midgets under the direction of Coach Jeff Perillo, brothers by the way, went on to become Pop Warner national champions. Please join. Go ahead. These are very, very special kids and coaches and parents who have really worked so hard over the years to support this program. And it's really a pleasure to have you all here today. I know we've talked over the last few years about bringing you up, and it hasn't worked out logistically. But we are very, very proud of everything that you've done. You guys have heart. And you set a great example for all of the youth of the state. And that's the type of role model we want to see. You know, we hear so much negative in the world, and it's really great to have the kind of positive energy that's in this room right now. I want to congratulate you, and I want to yield the floor to Representative O'Brien.
Absolutely, Madam. Representative O'Brien, you have the floor, sir. You accept the yield, I should say. Accept the...
Mr. Speaker, I think my microphone is on, so I think that's why Representative O'Brien is having difficulty.
Representative Green, would you mind? His mic's not working.
Would you like me to give the yield back to Ms. O'Brien or make my comments?
If you wouldn't mind, Representative Green, we'd appreciate that, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also rise to congratulate the team. I happen to work with one of the coaches, Mr. Lewis Austin. Mr. Austin, if you can just wave. Mr. Austin and the coach and the members of the team, I'd like to congratulate you. I've had the opportunity to watch some of your films, and I want to just congratulate you on a very well-done season. We're so proud of you. And again, it's a small world, but you know, we're all connected, and we're just so proud of our young citizens of Connecticut. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Representative O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a pleasure to speak and welcome the Newington Knights to the House chamber. Congratulations. You've all worked very hard, and you deserve all the accolades that you're getting right now. We in Newington are very proud of you, and now you know that the whole state of Connecticut is proud of you, too. We thank you very much for all that you've done. Keep on working. Keep on bringing all that effort that you put into winning these national championships into the rest of your life. I know that you're going to have a lot of success. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I would yield the floor to Representative Guerrera.
Representative Guerrero, do you accept the yield, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Congratulations to the Newington Pee-wee midget football team. I'd like to congratulate the coaches. I see a good friend of mine, Ches Pace, out there, who was very instrumental with the team, and as we all know, Coach Perillo. I also, too, played football for Newington, and it brings great pleasure to see the team here. And I find it very ironic, Mr. Speaker, that today is Uconn Day. And I have a feeling that we will see many of these players here again in about another 10 years, playing for Uconn, playing on Rensselaer Field. Of course, the coaches will be a lot older, and so far, we all will be, too. But it gives me great pleasure to see this great team. And let me tell you, right now, guys, across the United States, they're watching your films right now, wondering how they're going to beat you guys next year. So congratulations to all of you.
And I must, to the coaches and to the parents, and especially the players, gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here today. We hope that you'll find this an interesting day at our Capitol. More importantly, we hope that not only you champions on the field, but more importantly, you're champions off the field. We'll be following your careers. Your coaches are going to be watching your careers, and your moms and dads. We expect big things from you. You guys are champs. 0 points. Do you guys realize what you guys did? Can you imagine that? Nobody scored on you guys, and you should be pretty proud of that. and you are champions to us, so we appreciate you coming to this Capitol. We hope to see you again someday. Who knows, as Representative Guerrero said, maybe in a Uconn uniform, but we'll accept you in any uniform, okay? And God bless you, and hope to see you come back soon. So, great job. I would ask the chamber to stand at ease for a moment. Any other announcements or introductions? Representative Godfrey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For purposes of an introduction.
You may proceed, sir.
Thank you. Every year, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the building gets taken over by the Youth and Government Program of the YMCAs of the state of Connecticut. We had over 350 people as our guests here a few weeks ago in March to experience the process and the issues that come before legislatures and government in general. A very successful year. They've been at it for over 50 years. And I'm pleased to have with me two of the young people who were involved in that this year. Dan Spellacy, who's standing next to me, and Brenda B. are here from New Britain. The New Britain Y has been in this program for all of 3 years now, and they've been doing a lot of work. And indeed, Mr. Spellacy got himself elected youth governor, and Ms. B managed to get herself elected as Secretary of the State. We're very, very proud of both of them, and we want to welcome them here to see how we do it. We're a little noisier than you guys were, who they kind of sit quietly and actually pay attention to what's going on in the debates for that long weekend in March every year. So please join me in congratulating them and welcoming them to this chamber. Thank you.
Representative Chris. What purpose do you rise, sir?
For an announcement, Mr. Speaker.
You may proceed, sir.
Just for the Chamber's knowledge, calendar number 142 and calendar number 147, two of the nominations we acted on today, will need to be validated before the end of session on June 8th. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to please stay in the chamber. As you know, this is a special day for us always when we bring up the Uconn men and women's team. Within the next 30 seconds, we will be bringing in the women's team, and I hope that we give them as well as a welcome for the last 3 championship seasons as we will do this year for them. Okay, I hope for the best. There are champs. Can you imagine walking away with any championship ring, but some of these seniors walking away with 3. So with that, Chris, you want to tell them let's bring them in. Chris, just hang out real right. Unless you want to start from the floor. As I said earlier, I'm a very lucky man, and we're lucky to have these wonderful athletes, these wonderful women with us today, and the coaches, as you know, bring us so much pride. It's always a fun day for us, an exciting day, as we welcome our beloved Huskies to the Capitol. Yeah, believe it or not, ladies, every year, you know, with some of the boring stuff we kind of do, it just drags on and on. You may not know, but this is the highlight of our year when you guys come in. Absolutely. Now, I know every one of these are women and said, they must be saying, Speaker Raymond, get a life. But as you know, we get in these long sessions, and we haven't even started our budget debate, so we're so glad to have you in this historic chamber. You know, but it's amazing the success on the court that has fueled the Husky Mania epidemic that hits all of us every season. But it's not just about winning a national championship or national championships in the case of the Uconn Women Huskies. Of course, this year, it was nice to watch Tennessee go down in the tournament, wasn't it? Absolutely. Certainly, Husky, hey, like Coach, like you didn't mind that.
No.
I didn't think so. You know, what's mostly important is about the success, not just the success as they have shown us and their leadership, the seniors that are leaving with 3 championship rings, and the juniors and the sophomores and the freshmen that are going to give us thrills in the future. But of course, we've watched many of the Husky women as they've gone on in their lives and how proud we are of all of them. So for all the championships and accolades that Coach Gino receives, what he has done as a mentor and a role model for his players is a real success story. To the players who may be disappointed how the season ended, don't ever, ever be disappointed. As I said, the 3 championship rings that you leave set a standard that may never be reached again. And I think just for that, we should give them an ovation. Speaking of rings, Coach, I know I read and heard the story about your rings, and I was, as all of us, were really heard about that story, and I mean that. But I just noticed that Reggie Beeman isn't in here, Coach. I noticed there's an empty chair in the back there. You know, he's been walking around with a lot of new bling hanging around with Reggie. And he knew you were coming. He's usually the guy slamming the desk and yelling. He's quite suspicious that Mr. Beeman isn't in the chamber. Will anybody see Reggie? They all know, right? Give the kid the money. I don't see him here today. Oh, no, in all kidding aside, Coach, you never had a chance. No luck with the rings? That's a very sad story, and I know what they meant to you. I lost my wedding ring, and I'm still hearing about that 22 years later. Wife said I left it, I threw it. I didn't, swear to God. But again, we're so happy that you could join us today so we can show you how proud that we are of the whole team and all the coaches. Before I do an introduction, have some of the reps come up here and say a few words and do some introductions. Just again, for me personally, and I mean this, and with my wife, for all you wonderful women, thank you for all the thrills, the excitement. Thank you for what you do for the state of Connecticut. You may never know how proud we are of you as far as what you've done for this state, and how proud that all of us would say that we would love to have every one of you as our daughters, our nieces. That's how proud we are of you. You're part of our family. We love you. We'll be watching you throughout your career. So thank you again for everything. I'm going to ask, we'll start with our Terminator, Representative Mary Fritz. Come up and do some introductions.
So he really thinks I'm the Terminator? I guess I'll have to live up to my reputation. It gives me great pleasure today to introduce to the House the following members and assistant head coach and manager of the women's basketball team. The first person I get to do is Ashley Battle. As we know, Ashley is a senior. She comes from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And please look how she's cut. No wonder they were afraid of her, believe me. When she was in the game, nobody was fooling around. The next one I have is Stacy Marin. Stacy was a walk-on. Stacy is also a senior. And I don't know how many of you go to the games, but whenever Stacy got into the game, everybody would stand up and cheer. It was like, oh, one of their own finally made it. And she gave us so much joy and pleasure in her 4 years. Now, the next name I may have a problem with. Okay. Rashida Sadiq. Is that pretty good? Did I do good? Yes. Because I murdered a Brasimovic earlier, so. I really don't know too much about her, but I'm not afraid to say that. However, I will tell you that if she is a member of the Uconn women's basketball team, she's top shelf, she's first class, and we're proud to have her as part of our team. Now, Jamel Elliott, where is she? She's here. No? They're on vacation. Oh. Well, she hung around a long time with the team. Reggie Beeman's at a meeting. As you know, Jamel is an assistant head coach, and I know that you've seen her in the past run interference with the coach and the refs. And believe me, Jamel is the person that could do it. The last person I get to introduce is Jason Boothroyd, who is the manager. I don't know if he's here. This is the man behind the scene who makes sure that, you know, all the sweats are there, that the water bottles, the towels, all of the good stuff, that makes sure the buses, all of that, the nitty-gritty. And I believe that the Uconn women have such a good deal, having Jason as their manager. And then, in conclusion, I would like to say, when I look at the women's team, I think of the generations that you have given so much joy and hope to. I go to the games and I see at least 4 generations of people cheering you on, and the most heartening to see are the young girls. And if you sit beside them and listen to them, I mean, we're talking 9 and 10-year-olds. They know all the players, they know what they do, they know all the plays, and you are the people, this team, who have inspired these girls to think about doing or playing basketball and engaging in sport. And that is a good thing, and you have done a terrific job. We wish those seniors moving on great love, great hope, great health and happiness for the rest of their lives, for all the happiness that they have given to us. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to be bipartisan here. Oh, where is she? Oh, she's creeping up behind me. Representative Winkler, come on up, Representative. Representative Lenny Winkler. I was like, where did you go?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am again thrilled to participate in today's event as we pay tribute to the Uconn women's basketball team. Although they didn't win the championship this year, they are rebuilding and they did have a good season. We look forward to 2006, where the possibilities are endless. They are a longtime favorite of this legislature, not to mention the state of Connecticut. I am proud to introduce Ashley Valley of Colchester, Vermont. Ashley had an outstanding season and will be remembered for her tireless hustle on the basketball court. Next, we have Ann Struther of Castle Rock, Colorado. Ann has demanded much attention. She is an incredible athlete and a team leader. We look forward to seeing her play next year. Nicole Wolf of Massachusetts. I don't believe Nicole is here. Oh, she is. Bad information, Nicole. I was told you weren't going to be coming. She has established herself as a key player for the team. We're very happy she had a healthy return to Uconn. Next, we have the assistant coach, Tony Cardoza. I don't believe Tony's here. She has been a Uconn for the last 11 years, and her past experience as a standout player herself serves as a role model for the team's players. And Jack, I believe it's Eisenman. Jack is the director of women's basketball operations. He's not able to be with us today. But at Uconn, he helps ensure that the university's program continues to operate at a level second to none. We thank you all for all you do for Uconn, and we look forward to 2006. Thank you.
I want to hear it. Okay. Kelly, I know I messed. You told me my staff did the best. Coach, they told me I messed up already. Representative Sonny Googans.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to again be part of this special ceremony, particularly since I'm a Uconn alumna from prehistoric days when dinosaurs roamed the campus along with the dairy cows, and before the wonderful athletic programs that are up at Uconn today that allow women to show their skill, their strength, their stamina, and their strategy to compete with the best of them. My granddaughter, Kara, from Bethesda, Maryland, is one of the strongest Lady Husky fans that there is, and she gets to any of the games that she can and watches them all on television. So she's moving to Connecticut. I guarantee I'm going to try to get her on that team, if I'm still alive by that time. It's my pleasure to share the dais and to introduce more members of the Huskies with heart, women who taught college basketball what the word teamwork means. And I think the men have learned a lot from this gang. May I begin with number 24, a fascinating, outstanding freshman, Sharday Houston. And we can be watching her for 3 more years. Right? A part of the team in a different way this year, the infamous former number 5 and still number 5, Maria Conlon, who joined the team this year as student assistant coach, our own gal from Derby, Connecticut, still the niece of Len Green, Maria Conlon. Double trouble, number 33, Barbara Turner from Cleveland, who provided some wonderful moments and in my book is the comeback kid. Rosemary Regal, the trainer. Rosemary, are you here this year? She was not here last year. We can thank her twice for keeping this team fit. And last but hardly least, I asked her what her number was for all of the numbers of the ball players, and she quickly said, number 2. But in my book, I think she's number 1. Chris Daly, the assistant head coach with Gino for 20 years,